You were the change I needed. Your presence transformed my life in a way I never imagined. Thank you for being this strength, for lighting up my days, and for showing me that life can be different. You are the reason I believe that anything is possible. Sometimes I wonder how someone can impact another person so much. What you did wasn't just being by my side. It was seeing me in moments when I couldn't see myself. It was noticing the battles I was fighting in silence, and even without saying anything, showing me that I wasn't alone. You were there. That to me means more than any word or gesture. I remember specific moments, small even, but that changed everything. The way you listened to me when I needed to vent, without judgment, without haste. The way you believed in me when I didn't even believe in myself. The world around me seemed so dark, and you brought light. Not a forced light, but one that warms and comforts. You didn't try to change who I am. You just helped me realize that I was enough. There is one thing I need you to know. Your ability to give of yourself, to be so genuine, is uncommon. It's not every day that we find someone who does this without expecting anything in return. But you did, not out of obligation, not for convenience. You did it because you wanted to, and that means everything to me. If today I see the world in a different way, it's because you showed me there was another way to look. You didn't point out the path, you walked by my side. And that difference, although subtle, is what changed everything. It's not just about being present, but about being present in a way that few can. You were more than a support, you were a foundation. And you know what impresses me the most? You never asked for recognition, never expected me to say how incredible you are. But I need to say it now. I need you to know the impact you've had and still have on my life. These aren't just empty words, it's the purest truth. You made me believe that I deserve good things, that I am capable of being better, of building something meaningful for myself. I want you to know how much that means to me. I know that maybe I haven't expressed this before, at least not as I should have. Sometimes it's hard to put such deep feelings into words, especially when we are used to swallowing so much and silencing what really matters. But today, I want you to hear it. I want you to understand that your presence, what you've done, wasn't fleeting. It's something I carry with me every day, and if I could ask you one thing, it would be to never doubt the good you do. In a world where many are so focused on themselves, you chose to make a difference. And even if it doesn't seem big to you, know that for me, it was everything. It was enough to change not just a moment, but my entire perspective on what it means to live and be loved. It's not about perfection, and I never expected that from you. What matters is the way you showed you cared, so authentically, so uniquely you. I never felt I needed to be someone different, wear masks, or meet unrealistic expectations by your side. With you, I could be myself, and that, for me, is the greatest gift anyone can offer. You might think you didn't do much, that they were just simple gestures or random words. But what seems small to the one who does it can be immense to the one who receives it. And I received it. I received your kindness, your patience, your strength. I received an example of how it is possible to be a better person, not because the world demands it, but because you showed me it is worth it. I want you to know that no matter what happens, you will always have a special place in my life. You are the person who made me believe that there is light at the end of the tunnel, even on the toughest days. And for that, I will be eternally grateful. There is nothing that can express this accurately, but I hope these words come close. If I can repay you in any way, I want you to tell me. I want to be there for you, just as you were there for me. Not because I feel I owe you something, but because I want to. I want to be that presence for you too, to be the shoulder, the support, the strength, because that is what you deserve. Someone who sees in you everything that you are, just as you did for me. I don't know if I will ever have enough words to thank you, but I hope this message is a start. I hope you feel at least a little how special you are and how much you have changed my life for the better. Because in the end, it's not about what you said or did, it's about who you are. And who you are made all the difference to me. You might think that everything I'm saying is an exaggeration, that these are just words thrown in the wind, but they are not. Each letter, each sentence, carries a piece of what you mean to me. And it's not something I say just because I feel I should, but because it would be unfair to myself to keep it inside any longer. You have the right to know how much your existence has changed mine. I remember nights when everything seemed to fall apart, when the weight of the world seemed to crush my shoulders. It was in those moments that your words, your way of being there, made all the difference. They weren't rehearsed speeches or canned phrases. It was you, pure, honest, true. And somehow that was enough to make me believe that things could indeed get better. You didn't need to shout to be heard, nor did you need to try hard to convince me. You just were yourself, and that was more than enough. You know, sometimes the greatest strength is found in simple things, in the look that says, "I'm here," in the gesture that expects nothing in return, in the silence that understands more than 1,000 words. And you did this with a naturalness that still leaves me speechless. There were moments when I didn't know how to respond, when I didn't know how to reciprocate what you did for me, because, to be honest, I didn't know if I deserved all of that. I didn't know if I was worthy of having someone like you by my side. But you never let me doubt. You never allowed those insecurities to consume me. You saw something in me that I still couldn't see. And that's why I'm here now, trying to express how much that changed my life. If I had to describe the impact you had on me, I would say it was like opening a window in a room that had been closed for a long time. It was hard to breathe before you arrived. Everything felt stuffy, dark, lifeless. But then suddenly the air came in, the light flooded the space, and I could see things in a way I'd never seen before. You brought me that clarity. You brought me that life. And you know what's most amazing? You did it without even realizing it. There was no effort, no elaborate plans. You just were you, and that was enough. That was what touched me the most deeply. Because it's not something that can be taught. It's not something that can be learned. It's something you are, and that is rare. That is precious. I could spend hours trying to find the right words, trying to organize my thoughts in a way that would do justice to what you mean to me. But I don't think I will ever be able to convey everything with precision. And maybe I don't even need to. Maybe you already know deep down how important you are. But even so, I want you to hear it. I want you to feel it. You were the person who made me believe again. Believe in myself. Believe in goodness. Believe that there are still people in the world who make a difference. And that's no small thing. It's not something I say lightly, because before you, I had lost a bit of that faith. I had forgotten what it was like to trust, what it was like to feel that someone really cares, but you reminded me. You brought that back into my life. I keep thinking about what my life would be like today if you hadn't appeared. It's a difficult thought because it makes me realize how different everything would be. Maybe I would still be trapped in those shadows, in those thoughts that wouldn't give me peace. Maybe I wouldn't have the strength I have now to face the challenges. But you came, and everything changed. And for that, I will never stop being grateful. If I could ask you for something, it would be to never underestimate what you mean to the people around you. Not just to me, but to everyone who is lucky enough to know you. Because what you bring with you, this ability to care, to listen, to be present, is something rare, something the world desperately needs. Never let anyone convince you otherwise. I don't know what the future holds. I don't know where our lives will take us. But what I do know with all certainty in my heart is that you will always have a place in my story, because you were more than a passing chapter. You were the turning point, the moment when everything started to make sense. And that is something I will never forget. So once again, thank you. Thank you for being who you are, for not giving up on me even when things got tough. Thank you for seeing something in me that I didn't see. And above all, thank you for showing that kindness and love still exist, even in a world that sometimes seems so harsh. I hope this message reaches you in the way that I feel it. I hope you truly know how special you are, because you are. You always will be. I know it might be strange to receive a message like this, so full of words that you might not have expected to hear. But I don't want to leave anything unsaid, because some things can't be postponed. And expressing how much you mean to me is one of them. Since you came into my life, I realized it wasn't just about someone being physically present. It was about how that presence can be transformative. You showed me this in ways you might not even realize. You made me feel seen, valued, as if my mistakes and insecurities weren't greater than my ability to grow, to be better. I had never had that before. There were moments when I wanted to give up, moments when it seemed like nothing made sense. And then you were there, pulling me back, reminding me that there was something worth fighting for. It wasn't with grand speeches or dramatic gestures. It was with your way of existing, of believing in me, even when I couldn't. I remember a specific conversation which might have seemed trivial to you, but to me it was the kind of conversation that changes lives. You said something that stayed with me, that I needed to stop apologizing for existing, for taking up space. Those words impacted me in a way you might not imagine. They weren't just advice, they were a call to life, a silent command for me to stop hiding. Your ability to see beyond the surface is one of the things I admire most about you. You don't just look at what is obvious, you go deeper. You perceive what is behind the words, the actions. And that makes all the difference. You saw me when I was hiding from the world, and most importantly, from myself. I know that sometimes people have no idea of the impact they have. Maybe you think you didn't do anything extraordinary, that you were just being yourself, but exactly that, is what changed everything. Because who you are is already extraordinary. Your essence, your truth, your way of dealing with things, all of that is something that inspires, that transforms. I want you to know that even on days when you feel lost, when things seem confusing, you are that strength, you are that light for me and for so many other people. Do not doubt that, because I am living proof of how much you can change a life. And if one day you need someone, if the weight of the world seems too much, I want you to know that I will be here. Maybe I'm not as good with words as you are with me, but I promise that I will be present. I promise that I will do what I can to make sure you feel at least a part of what you made me feel. I don't want this message to just be beautiful words that get lost over time. I want it to be a reminder, an anchor for the tough days. Because the world needs people like you, and I want you to never forget that. I know I am not perfect, that I made mistakes and that sometimes I may have failed to show how important you are, but never, not for a second, did I doubt it. I never stopped recognizing the impact you had on my life. And now more than ever, I want you to know that. You brought into my life something I thought was lost. It wasn't just hope. It was a new way to see things. It was the certainty that I wasn't alone, even when everything seemed to indicate otherwise. It was the proof that there are people who care truly, without expecting anything in return. I could try to write more, try to describe in more detail what you mean to me, but I think deep down there are not enough words, because what you did, who you are, goes beyond what any phrase can express. So what I want you to take from this message is simple. You matter. You made a difference, and I am eternally grateful for that. You matter. You made a difference in my life in a way that few people would, and I needed you to know that. No matter how difficult things seem, or how much the world tries to make you doubt yourself, remember the impact you have. You were the light that illuminated my darkest days, and that is a truth that will never change. I don't know if I can express enough how grateful I am, but I hope these words are a beginning. I want you to know that you are amazing exactly as you are, that the good you bring to the world is real, and that I will never forget what you did for me. Now I want to invite you to reflect on this. Have you ever thought about the impact you can have on someone's life without even realizing it? Share here in the comments a story of how someone helped you or how you helped someone. Let's create a chain of inspiration. And if this message touched you in some way, don't forget to leave your like and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Your participation makes all the difference.